So I often come to ribbon cuttings, and there's 2 or 3 people hanging out. And we do our thing for cable and cut the ribbon, and we're going to do all that today, of course. But this is, I think, the biggest party for ribbon cutting I've been to in 4.5 years in office. So something good going on. Unless Doug has paid all of you to be here, I wouldn't put that by him. All right, so we're here today to celebrate a number of things: the retention of a terrific New Bedford business, the investment in a great neighborhood and in a location that worked so well for our city for many years, and the continued growth of the city economically overall. So let's talk about Servpro a little bit. So Servpro, as so many of you know, especially you insurance carriers out there, I saw Maureen Armstrong, you guys work hand in glove. Servpro works hand in glove with the insurance industry and many businesses and homeowners, and specializes in the cleanup and restoration of residential and commercial properties when things go badly. And badly as in fires and smoke and water damage and mold and mildew and all kinds of stuff that nobody wants to experience, but when you do, you know whom to call. So we're here today to celebrate Servpro's move over here to Purchase Street, the longtime home of Sam Giamavo's cars. My family is still driving one of those cars, and Sam Giamavo would be proud if he were with us here today. The Giamavo family, who's represented here today, I know are proud of the reinvestment here. Sam Giamavo was a great guy, and this was the site of a terrific family business, and we worried for a long time whether things would be kept going right in this spot. And today marks the occasion when we can all say, yes, things are continuing on here with great local business work. So the move of Servpro and the expansion of Servpro here at this property, which has been unused for 3 years, was expected to create 5 new jobs over the next 5 years and to retain 8 more. And Doug has made a commitment to give a first look to city residents, which we greatly appreciate. Doug has been totally committed to the advancement of New Bedford in every way since he started doing business here a number of years ago. And Doug could have chosen to go really anywhere. It's a great business. He could have looked for a strip mall somewhere, even a place with lower taxes, but he knew that when committing to New Bedford, he was committing to a community that wants to see his business thrive, and that's what we're about. We're going to hear later today from Derek Santos on behalf of the Economic Development Council and Rick Kidder on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce. I will steal some of their thunder in saying, New Bedford is open for business. New Bedford means business when it says that you can thrive here, that you have a city government and a business network that is all about nurturing the success of small businesses. And we as part of New Bedford's great revitalization, in which now we have an unemployment rate that is at a 15-year low. We're all about out-hustling everybody else. Thank you, Maria. And that's what we have to do. And so here, we provided some tax incentives thanks to the work of the EDC, the City Council, and Ian Abreu from the City Council, representing the City Council, will say a few words in a second, as well as the Office of Economic Development and Housing at the state level, headed up by Jay Ash and represented regionally by Maria Marasco, who's here today. Thank you, Maria. Let's hear from Maria. You can come up here and join the limelight if you want, Maria, but I know you want to hang back. But this is what we're doing. We've heard it for so many years in our city that New Bedford has great potential, if only, and then fill in the blank, right? We're realizing that potential now. But to realize it, we've got to plan well, we've got to act as a team, and we've got to work harder. And that's okay. It's okay with me. I know it's okay with all of you. I know it's okay with folks here. And we are out hustling everybody else when it comes to you name it. School reform, urban planning, the public works projects that you see all over the place, and the expansion of business. We're making things happen, and we're going to continue to push and push and push and push until everybody recognizes what we know in our hearts, that New Bedford can achieve greatly, it can achieve excellence, and really set the standard for urban redevelopment, not just in the Northeast, but nationally. So we're very proud of it, and this is a great example of how it has to happen. We've got a terrific local business in Servpro, headed up by a strong team and a strong leader, and a business that's committed to working well with the rest of the community, and that's what it's going to take. It's going to take all of us pulling together. So anyway, I just want to say, congratulations above all to you, Doug, and for all of your hard work and your commitment to the city and to your entire team. We look forward to continuing to work with you, and I mean that on behalf of myself, but also our entire economic development team. With all that, I want to call up Ian Aber to speak on behalf of the City Council, which supported the tax increment financing deal for Servpro's expansion, and I just really appreciate the Council's commitment to make things happen in our city in its spirit of teamwork with my administration. Ian.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, everyone. And it's a great crowd here. And on behalf of the entire City Council, it certainly gives me great pride to be here to support Doug and his entire staff in this great undertaking and this brand new initiative to open up this new Servpro and create economic development and tax-based growth here in our city. City Council President Linda Morad had a work commitment, so she should be arriving soon, hopefully, to take part in some of the festivities, but she sends her regrets as well as Ward 4 Councilor Dana Ribeiro, as this location is in Ward 4. Similar to what the mayor said, Doug is a South Coast area business. It could have been very easy for Doug to have invested in a nearby community anywhere throughout the greater South Coast, Wareham to Westport area, but Doug decided to keep his business here in New Bedford and to invest in this community because he's bought in. He sees what we're trying to accomplish in New Bedford in regard to economic development and community development. And I can't thank Doug enough for all that he's done for the greater New Bedford community and for New Bedford as a whole. For us as a city council, we get requests for tax increment financing quite often. Sometimes, we have to deliberate, but for Doug, it was an absolute no-brainer when you look at the investment that he has put into this property, when you look at the number of jobs he's going to create. It is certainly, it was a very easy call for us to make to support Doug in his TIF request because he's investing in our community. And I think as government officials, investment is two-way. We have to show our investment in the private sector as well. With that being said, I do have a citation on behalf of myself, Council President Linda Morad, and Ward 4 Councilor Dana Ribeiro. It's very hot. I see people wiping the sweat off their foreheads, so I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to belabor this ribbon cutting or this ceremony any more than it has to. But, Doug, I did want to hand this to you and congratulate you on a job well done. Thank you very much for all that you do for New Bedford. And I look forward to many, many years of economic success for you and your staff, knock on wood. With that being said, I'm going to now segue and introduce Rick Kidder, who's also my boss at the New Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce. And don't I ever forget it. So with that being said, here's Rick Kidder, President and CEO of the New Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce.
Thanks, Ian.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you.
Mayor, thank you.
Rick.
Well, good afternoon. That was fair. Let's try it again. I know it's hot. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here today. We have a lot of our ambassadors here today. Ambassadors, raise your hand. Thank you so much for all that you do for this community and for the New Bedford Chamber. You know, we are at a crossroads as a community. We've been at a crossroads for a number of years. We've had some fits, we've had some starts. But as the mayor said, we're taking off now. And that takeoff is something that is a mindset for all of us to embrace. If you take a look at the people around you, look to your left, look to your right, these are business people who believe in this community and who believe in this region. And it's important that all of us do so. Doug Glassman could have been elsewhere. He was elsewhere. He went to work for a Fortune 500 company. He could have been someplace else. He chose to be back here. He chose to be here because his family is here and family is important. But he chose to be here also because he sees this as an area of opportunity. I'm pleased to work with Doug and the CEO Roundtable and pleased to have him as a member of the New Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce. But I'm most pleased to know him as a person. So it's my pleasure now to introduce you to Doug Glassman.
Well, thank you, everybody. You know, I'm really blown away by the turnout. That means a lot to me. A lot of friends, family, people I do business with. It's really, really means a lot. As well as that, I just want to give some other thanks to the Chamber, to the Mayor Mitchell for taking this time coming out here today. As well as that, New Bedford Economic Development Committee as well. Thank you. Ian, City Council. Then big thank you to the staff, the guys that, you know, the men and women I work with every day. You know, big applause for you guys. So, you know, it's one of those things, and I think a lot of you know it. You know, I'm only one person, but it's a team thing, and I have a great team, so it goes a long way, and it's helped a lot for us to grow, get to the next level, and have an opportunity to move in a location and do something like we're doing now. As well as that, my family, you know, my parents and everything, and their support, and obviously my wife and our little baby Zach. Hopefully when he lets me sleep at night, I can work a little harder the next day. But no, definitely thank you, everybody. You know, this new location, it means a lot to us. You know, I've been in business now. Well, I bought the business 3.5 years ago. We moved into a smaller location, not too far from here. But coming into this spot here, you know, has a lot of huge benefits for us and for the company to grow. You know, the access is amazing. We're right off the highway on Route 18 here. We're right outside of downtown New Bedford. As well as that, the visibility. You guys might have noticed there's a green building on Route 18 now. So it's really working out, and we love it. The other shout out that I want to give, and there was a couple notes to that, is the business that it replaced. Sam Giamavo's Auto Sales was a pillar in the community and was quite the business here. Had an amazing reputation, was here from the early 70s all the way to just a few years ago. So one of the big things that we want to do, and we want to hold that legacy and keep a solid business with a huge reputation, and kind of go from that, you know, the one you trust, well, we're going to turn it into like it never even happened. So that's another big thing that, you know, that we strive for. But other than that, you know, thank you again for coming today. Please have a good time. We're going to have food and drinks, so thank you again.
We got a ribbon to cut.
And a ribbon to cut.
Well, thank you, Doug. Look, you know, I'm glad you brought up the Sam Giamavo jingle. Who here is old enough to remember that on the radio? Yeah, I know. You guys have to come up with something memorable like that. But anyway, I mean, I want to congratulate you also with a proclamation. I won't read it, but I hope you know, we'll be seeing this up on your wall for a long time as your business continues to grow, Doug.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Last up, before we do the ribbon cutting, I want to call up Derek Santos just for a word of context and perspective on the growth of Servpro and how it fits in with the general economic trends in the city, of which so much of which you all know about. You know, Derek has done a hell of a job in marshaling the community's resources and maintaining its focus on making the most of the city's assets and continuing to spread the word about you know, what a great business proposition New Bedford is. And I can't thank Derek enough, who's just done such an amazing job with his team over at the EDC. Derek.
So I'll be super quick, and this is actually a perfect example of something in our office that we know that is true, but doesn't get a lot of publicity, and that's that most of a community's growth in its economy and its jobs and its tax base comes from within, comes from the companies that are already in that community. And oftentimes, and this is not the case today, but that growth, that success, that continued investment goes without fanfare, right? So I'm glad that we have the opportunity to celebrate that today, because there are dozens of times in a year where we're helping with permitting, we're providing lending assistance, we're working with Maria on the tax incentives needed to make projects like this happen. Because it's not always about exciting boutique hotels or huge mill redevelopments or big expansions in the business park that obviously garner big headlines. Those projects are fantastic. We love them. We'll always take more of them. But you get to a point where your unemployment drops for the single biggest drop in more than a decade and a half by singles and doubles. And those singles and doubles are absolutely what's needed. So it takes a team to do that. So when Doug mentions his team here at Servpro, our team, of course, is made up of the hardworking folks at the EDC, everybody on staff, Deborah, Angela, Nancy, and of course, Ramon, who does all of our financing and lending, some very difficult projects sometime, but also the state, the city council, the mayor's office, and city departments, right? It sort of takes a village to bring these projects together efficiently, and we're only as good as the team members we work with on the private and public sector, and we have great partners. So we're glad for that. We're glad that the chamber is, at the top of that list. And we're ready for the next one. So that's always our motto. We're ready for the next one. So Rick, let's get going, man.
Let's do it. All right.
Come on in, Servpro, guys. Can we move the podium a little bit over here? We're gonna do a fake one first, right? Yeah.
A fake holder there.
Okay. Let's get the ribbon to come over to the left a little bit. Is that better? A little bit more. A little bit more. Okay. I can see y'all. Everybody, look up here. 3, 2, 1, and smile. Don't cut yet. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now, it's really hard, Doug, but we're gonna do a 3, 2, 1, and this time go ahead and cut. All right. But try to keep looking at me.
All right.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, and cut.
Yeah.